Okay, so I'm filming this part at the very end, but it's going to be in the beginning of the video. So as you can see, my antenna broke off in a car wash, and it's been off for a month or so. I've had the part for a little bit. Ordered the part from Rock Auto, this piece here, reused. Could have reused this, but instead I bought a really short little stubby that you'll see, and off of Amazon for about 10 bucks. I never use terrestrial radio, so even though it'll lose reception distance, I'm not sad about it. The important thing to note is all that corrosion where it was holding water from coming in from the top. So if you ever do break this, replace it as soon as you can. Otherwise, there's a seal here to keep water from getting in here, but if it can get through the top, the seal no longer works, and this seal keeps it from getting inside of the car. If this ever breaks, replace it as soon as you can, because water will get in there, it will sit there, and your roof will start to rust away, and eventually it will let water into the cabin and continue the rust. And if you're like me and have a sunroof, it's going to ruin the sunroof. All of the electronics are sitting in the back right near where this would allow water in. So just a friendly warning, this, while it seems like it's unimportant piece, it's actually extremely important and should definitely be replaced should it get broken in some way or another. Welcome to my very messy garage and my 2024 Chevy Trailblazer and my nice broken antenna. Cue dash cam footage of it getting torn off in a car wash. What the fuck? I believe that clip and that clip come down. I've got to pry a little bit in here. I believe it's one 10mm bolt. Probably need some pry tools of some sort. I have a whole new antenna with a little stubby that I got off of Amazon for like 10 bucks to replace this big guy that looked like crap and maybe was part of the problem. So give me a minute or two while I figure out what I'm doing, and we'll be back. Alright, so pry tool in there, give it a pry. Looks like I just need to stop being baby and pull. Maybe it only comes out a little bit. And on this side, there we go. So yeah, I did break one. I am dumb. Just like I did in the first one, it only has to come out a little bit. You don't pull it all the way out. Looks like I can probably pull out the nub and get a new one, and it'll be fine. Not at the end of the world, but I'm stupid. So, inside, there are those two connectors to unplug. Alright, so because I have a sunroof, it's hard to see, but if you follow these wires up here and right at the tip of where they disappear, there is a 10mm bolt. That it would be this bolt here that you have to undo. As you can see on the new one, there's a little rubber gasket that keeps the water out, and it should be pretty simple as undoing this. In fact, alright, so yeah, undo this. And I believe this comes off as well. And then that's gonna go back and place the other one. And I gotta do the same thing up there to get that one undone. And there's these two connectors here. Looks like you gotta pull the red safety tab backward, and then there's a little push pin right there on either one to disconnect these guys. So as you can see, that little red safety tab pops out a bit. Then you can just push down on the little tab right here and it just pops right out, and I'll do the same on the back connector. So deep 10 mil will make your life easier, and unbolty you go. Alright, got the old bolt and retainer, I don't know what to call that thing, off. In theory now, I can just yank that thing, but I'm short. I'm going to go grab a step ladder. Alright, so in theory this should just pop right off. Perfect. Got a little bit of dirt and stuff there. I'll clean all that off really good before I put the new one back on. Let's compare the old and the new. Compare the old one and the new one here. So that looks the same. That looks the same, other than that is a lot of corrosion on the old one and a lot of wetness, but nothing in here or on the other side of that O-ring, so it's probably fine. But that would lead me to worry about potential rust on the roof at some point. Interesting. Well, I'm going to put the other one, clean up the top, run the wires through, and should just be bolted on and plug them in and good to go. Alright, so I got the new one in place up top. One thing to note, these little clips are directional. So right there, another one on the other side, and right there are little tabs for those little tabs. So you're going to have to try and do that blind when it's up top. That's not going to be so fun. I'll be back when I'm done trying to do that. So on second thought, all this corrosion here is probably due to the fact that water was getting in through the broken off hole. So I'm not as worried about it as I was, but since there is a gasket, you want to make sure that is all nice and tightened down. That bolt doesn't have a torque spec I could find anywhere. It will be very loose going in 99% of the way. Once it bottoms out, all you have to do is go till it bottoms out and give it the tiniest little bit more, and that seems to be enough to do it. These are directional, only go in one way, so it's pretty easy to do. That pushes in, put the lock back in. That one pushes in, put the lock back in. So there's a little thing there where that pushes back into. Give it a good love tap once you get it lined up. And it's back in. And then you just push this all the way back in and you are done. So yeah, you just gotta go around and shove that back. I hope that helped somebody else out. I'll probably lose some antenna range by going with one of these guys, or instead of going with the stock one, going with the little guy, but I never use radio, so I don't really care. It's mostly to keep water from coming in there. Hope that helps somebody, and that's the final look.